All right, guys, welcome back to DragonWorks once again. Today we got a 1984 Honda CB700SC. It's in for some carb issues and some front brake issues. I just want to do a little introductory video why it's all still in one piece here before I get tearing it apart. The owner, I think it was the owner, rebuilt the carbs or whatever. He was having trouble with them, but they're still just not right. They're just not acting right. And the front brakes were so bad they were locking up on him. You can see the rotor was actually discoloring there. So there's a number of things that cause that, and we're going to get to the bottom of that. That's what I'm going to try to find out now. I got some parts coming for the carb, but I need to check these brakes out and see what's going on in case we got to order some stuff for it as well. So, all right, stay tuned. I'm going to get digging into this thing, and we'll see what's going on with it. Stand by. Okay, guys, I guess first things first before I do any work, especially on carbs. Now, originally the owner contacted me about synchronizing the carburetors. That's what he thought was going on. I think it started and ran good, but it wasn't idle and what have you. So first things first, I always try to like to start the bike up and see how the thing's going to act before I get too far. Let's give it a choke. Gas is on. Maybe try a little less choke. Oh, I smell old gas. It smells like. Hang on. How long's it been sitting? Somebody lined the tank. Yeah, I don't know. That gas don't smell so hot. So yeah, might not want to start or run too good right now. It smells a little sour. I could be wrong. Let's try a little half choke. No choke. Back to full choke. It did try there once. All right, we're going to throw the battery charger on it already. I got to get with the owner. I don't remember what he told me about how old that gas is, but when I was cranking it the first time with the choke all the way open, I could smell, it smelled like it was old. And the gas tank smells old too, so it might have some sour gas in it. It's not going to be real happy, but I'll throw the battery charger on it while I start looking at those brakes, and we'll try it again. I'm not going to keep cranking on it. I'd rather just go ahead. If it's not going to start, it ain't going to start. And I'll get the carbs off and get the tank cleaned out and all that good stuff. But we will give it one more shot with a good fresh battery. But let me get the battery charger on, and then I'll be back. Okay, folks, I got the battery charger hooked up there real quick, and I just decided I would start checking out the brakes. Now, I know they've been working on this quite a bit. I noticed it's empty here, and there's just all this gook everywhere. And basically what that is that's the brake fluid interacting with the paint on the inside of the master cylinder, which is not good. That's really bad. This is a really inferior product right here. And you can just wipe off the paint, which is not supposed to happen. Look at this. It's just like, oh, melted. Hey, so that's no good. This master cylinder is no good. If that stuff's getting down in there, there's a lot of the problem right there. Brake fluid, have you ever read the bottle to brake fluid? How important it is that you don't ever use an open container. You always have to use fluid from a sealed container. It cannot have any contaminants whatsoever in it, especially gunk like that and water and everything. So Yeah, this is going to have to be changed out. That's no good. That is just, it's just all melting. It's terrible. Look at that stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's not good. That's number one problem. Okay, guys, I left the battery on trickle charge last night, so we got a fair shake here. And you saw we tried to start it, didn't want to start. Ended up running the battery down pretty quick. Once again, I didn't get with the customer yet. This might be some old gas in here, but just wanted to see if we could get her to bust off, so we know what we're starting with. Yeah, must be some old gas or something, because I thought he said it ran okay, but it wasn't idle or something. It seemed to like partial choke. All right, folks, I'm not going to keep cranking it too much. I don't like to keep cranking. I don't see where it's starting and running. But like I say, that gas does kind of smell a little bit old. That was my fault. Let me try a little throttle. Usually best to leave it alone, but might be real far out of adjustment. Okay. So, there you saw it. I tried twice. It will not start. So that's where we're starting from. All right, guys. Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting discoveries on this one so far. All right, stay tuned. Can only get better from here, right? Okay, guys. So the bike came in not running, not starting, and you saw we tried to start it several times. It wasn't even trying to start. And when the customer came over the other day, brought me the master cylinder for the front brakes, I tried it again while he was here to show him, but it didn't start. He did say he had it running. He actually rode it for a little while, like one summer or something, but it never was running quite right. So anyway, right now we got the carbs all cleaned up. They were pretty sticky on the inside. The ethanol had turned to goo. And you'll see the pictures I'm flashing up here. And it had the needles stuck, and the pilot jets were all clogged up. None of them were open. I think one of them was actually, number 4, I think was open, which usually is because the bike leans on the kickstand and all the gas runs to the number 1 carburetor. So that's usually the worst. And number 4 is usually the best. So pretty much what I had here. But anyway, so I'm going to do a cold start, first start after cleaning the carbs up. They got the idle speed control way up in the middle there. You can't even get your hand on it. So we'll have to see where it is, but just going to get it started up. I'm not going to give you a lot yet, because once again, I'll probably got to get it adjusted and all that kind of stuff. But let's just see what happens when we try to get it running. Got the battery on charge here. It's saying it's fully charged. All right, let me just get it out of the way because the cord wants to hang on the exhaust. So, all right, now let's try it. Gas on the bottle here. We'll give it full choke. It'll take a minute, maybe. Got it on run. All right, you ready? That's a good sign. That's better. Man, idle's a little low. I'm gonna have to adjust it. Like I said, it's hard to get to. They don't make it easy. Alright, you gotta warm up a lot. Man, what a smooth bike. This thing ain't even vibrating. Alright, choke off. I'm still holding a little throttle because I don't think it's turned up enough. It's still cold, so you gotta warm up a bit. It'll probably idle really low. Let me see. It's gonna have to be turned up. I'll get to that. We just want to get her warmed up a little. She hasn't ran in a long time. It's warming up pretty quick. Once I get it warmed up, I'll set the idle a little better. I definitely got to turn that idle up because it seems like it's too low, or it might have been adjusted when it was hot out, like during the summer, and then now it's 30 degrees when I come in this morning, so it's been sitting in the cold. But like I said, they got the adjustment knob is in the center of the carburetors, and you can't even get your hand in here. I can touch it, but I can't get my fingers on it, so I'm gonna have to use like a screwdriver or something. And I wish I'd have thought more about that. Why I had it apart, but anyway, stand by. Let me adjust that throttle a little bit, open the doors up, all that good stuff. Okay, you got the idle up. No choke. That's right about 1400. That's a little bit, 1400 RPMs. That's a little bit high, but I'm just going to run it like that for a little while, guys. Let it warm up, let it clean out. The spark plugs, you probably see in the picture. Let's see. Spark plugs were pretty sooty, fouled kind of. So the reason I'm telling you that is because that means the valves also look like that. The inside of the combustion chamber will also look like that. So you need to burn that stuff out before you can really start adjusting and before the thing runs right. So you can do it by getting it really warm and revving it, or sometimes I'll throw a little extra Marvel mystery oil right down in the carbs there, and that'll knock it out pretty quick. But first things first, before you do all that and get violent with it, you need to slowly bring it back, let it warm up, do a couple heat cycles like that, and get the engine all swelled back up. And then you can start romping on her a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do off camera. I'm going to let it run for a little while. I'm going to do that a couple times. Then I'll throw some Marvel mystery oil right into the carbs, so it'll go in the combustion chamber and clean all that soot up. And at that point, we'll know exactly how she's going to run, and we can start adjusting on it and all that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I appreciate you following along and putting up with these videos. Stand by for a little bit more action. Okay, guys. So yeah, like you saw, the bike starts and runs great. Right now, I'm running some Marvel Mystery Oil through the fuel system to try to burn all that stuff off. Like I said, the plugs were all sooted up, so I imagine the inside of the motor is a little sooted up too. So I'm trying to break that stuff up, and I've been running it a little, warming it. So I'm going to start it up and give it a couple revs here. You'll see the stuff burning off and coming out of the pipe. And then we'll talk about the other problem. Okay, so yeah, starting to clear out a little bit. It actually smoked a lot less when I was just filming it here a little bit ago. When I was running it, it was really burning that stuff off and smoking pretty good, but it looks like it's got it cleaned out. So the thing's running awesome. It's going to be a great bike to ride. The only problem is I found out that the petcock was not flowing any fuel. So the tank has always smelled like dirty gas, or old gas rather, since it's got here. And I noticed that the petcock wasn't flowing any fuel, so I pulled it out, take a look at it, and I'm gonna put up the pictures here so you guys can see why I'm talking, what I found. The inside of the tank is a mess. The guy did try to reline it at one time, but it wasn't properly cleaned out and re-etched and relined the way it should be. So I think when he put gas in it and tried to ride it again, it broke all the rust and old varnish and everything loose, and that's what went back down into those carburetors and got them all clogged up again. The petcock's completely clogged, and it ate up the tube. It looks like a brand new petcock. I think he said he got it a year and a half ago or something, but it ate a hole clear through the tube. And the screen that's supposed to be up in the tank is just totally ate up and shot. So that's a lot of what happened. Is a lot of that stuff went right back down in the carbs and caused all that trouble. But now I got to get the tank cleaned out and get another good petcock and screen in there. Because we got these carbs all cleaned out. They're running great, so we don't want nothing to go back in there. So I don't believe we're not going to do the tank lining at this time. We're going to try to get it cleaned up real good and put a filter in the line or something. And then maybe next season, when the guy can afford or whatever, we'll take the tank and we'll reline it properly, and he'll be done forever then. But anyway, that's where we're at. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Like I say, I still got brake work to do on the front. This guy was having trouble with the brakes locking up on him, and he tried a couple different master cylinders or whatever, but I haven't been able to ride the bike yet to see what's going on, if the brakes are going to lock up again. So there's more work to do, but I can't get to it until we get this tank situation taken care of. So stay tuned for the next episode. We got to try to track down a petcock because they're really hard to find for these bikes. Clean the tank out, and we'll go from there. So thanks again for watching. Peace out.